Hi everybody, Bill Nissen again, and we are asking questions because questions reveal answers that give us reasons to get out of bed. You know, I've gotten a lot of interactions with people that have not ever been to church, and they're really kind of anti-church, quite frankly. And I had one, not too long ago, come up to me and said, "Bill, you're a nice guy, but I can't stand church. How can you put up with that stuff? Why? I can't find any way. I mean, I'd love to talk to you more, but I can't deal with going to church. And so how can you justify that for me?" And so I shared it with him, a funny story. And I'm not looking for this story to be racy or anything. It was truly what happened to me. It's funny is sometimes when you get stuck into the church mode, you don't realize how you look to people outside. Well, and so I wasn't really churched at the time when I came to Christ, and I had a funny story happen. It was the day I went forward. Okay, what actually had happened? I didn't understand any of this at the time. This was 1986. This had been April 29th, 1986. It was a Sunday morning. And the day before, I actually had encountered the Lord and started having a relationship with Him. It was an amazing day. But this lady that I knew from this church encouraged me to come forward the next day and make my profession of faith in front of everybody. And I said, "Oh, that's fine. I'll do that, whatever." So I went. And you got to understand, I had really no reference point for, this was a Baptist church, and I was not Baptist. Okay. And so I went forward at the end of the thing because they told me to. And I went and sat on this chair. All right, and they gave me a 3x5 card to fill out with information, I guess, as far as my decision for Christ, and I'm thinking, "Oh, this is cool, that's fine." And then this was a Baptist church that had like a big wall in the back where it said "Go ye into all the world," and had a globe, had a map on the wall, and there was a door. I could tell there was a little door up on like the second floor. I was always kind of curious what that door was. And then there was this older gentleman in a three-piece suit, and I'm the only person in the whole church that's dressed like Elvis. I had sideburns, and I was wearing a silver suit, and he comes up to me after I filled out my card, and he goes, "Follow me, son." I went, "Oh, okay." So I follow him. There's this side door off to the side of the stage, and so I went with him in that side door. And then, so I want you to understand, I had no reference point for any of this stuff that was about to happen. Okay, nobody explained anything to me. So I go through that door, and there's a big, spiral staircase, metal spiral staircase that took you up to the second floor. And then there was like this metal grate floor, and then there was these shower curtains, like booths over on this one wall. This old guy comes up to me. He goes, "Well, young man, go over there, take all your clothes off, and meet me out here in a few minutes." And I'm thinking, what in the world did I just get myself into? I don't know, am I supposed to drink some grape Kool-Aid now? I'm like, what did I get myself into? But I was like doing everything he told me to do. So I went in the booth and I took all my clothes off, and there was this plastic robe thing hanging on the wall. And I'm like, I'm not going to be naked around here. So I left my underwear on and I put the robe on. And he didn't even tell me to put the robe on, but I'm doing that. All right, I'm covering myself up. I'm like, I don't know what I got myself into, honestly. Now, a lot of you are probably laughing because you know where this is going, but I had no clue at the moment. So I get back out, and he just smiles and points me to this catwalk, this metal catwalk, and I go in there, and as soon as I get through the catwalk, I see there's this baptismal, and that pastor that was down below just a few minutes earlier was in these waders for like when you go fly fishing, and then a little suit jacket on top of it. And I was getting baptized by immersion. Nobody explained it to me, nobody taught it to me, nobody did anything. They just told me to take my clothes off and then go into this thing. And what should be the most profound moment of my life is when I'm being baptized and profess my faith for Christ. I'm just nervous because I have my underwear on. Okay. And so I go down into the tub, and he baptizes me, which is great. And but all I could think of when I should be thinking, I'm walking with Christ now, is all I can think of is my underwear is wet. What am I going to do? They gave me this little flimsy towel. I tried to dry myself off, put my suit back on, and then they took me all the way down to the front lobby to have everybody congratulate me. And the water's just seeping through my suit, and I'm just all I could think of was I've got to get out of here. So it's funny because from my perspective, I'm just like, what did they just do to me? Where from their perspective, they just think this was a beautiful day. It wasn't wonderful that young man gave his life to Christ and all that. But from my perspective, I was humiliated and I was tormented. And that's probably too extreme word, but it's just funny the disconnect of what some of the people in the church see as normal as compared to what people see outside the church. So as that guy was asking me this, I was sharing that story with him and he just cracked up. And I just said, first things first, let's just get you walking with Jesus. And then we're going to learn how to connect with other believers and encourage you in that way. But let's just take first things first. Let's just deal with your relationship with Jesus. For the long picture, sure, we don't want to forsake the assembling of one another. We don't want to, you can't grow as a believer without having other believers in your life. That's just the way God has designed it. But first things first, what are you going to say about him? And so that's what I did for him. I just said, don't worry about all that. We'll deal with that later. Who is he to you? Just get rid of all those excuses. There's a lot of things we do in church that just seem silly sometimes because we just don't explain the power behind it. So I don't know if you found that amusing or not, but that was my baptism. That's how I got baptized. And I never got re-baptized because I didn't get the moment. I've had that moment every day. It's always been good. So, but it was funny. It just shows that we've got to recognize how the world sees us sometimes. And for those of you that aren't in the church, you've got some legitimate points. And bless you. Let's just keep talking so we can get real about what is real. So I hope that was helpful. So anybody that was struck by that story, I just want you to know that Jesus loves you no matter what stupid stuff happens. And Lord, I ask that you would let them know who you are. Let them know how awesome you are. And don't let the silly things that we do in church or other people that do by mistake rob each other of the truth and the joy you want us to have. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that story. And I'll probably bring it up again because there's other nuances to it later on. But bless you. We'll talk to you later.